Smile like you've got nothing to prove. No matter what you might do, there's always someone out there cooler than you.
Hello listeners, and thanks for tuning in to Buffalo Lab Radio Free. I'm your host, Eunice Randall. I got some really great feedback on the last episode, and I wanted to thank everyone again for taking the time to watch it. I really appreciate it. Damon, thanks for the tip on the microphone, but actually Matt is letting me borrow this beautiful piece of equipment. It's pretty much taking every ounce of self-control in my body not to just sit here and gush about how amazing it is. And in other news, we have a domain name now, so you can check us out at BLRF.org. Right now it just redirects to our YouTube channel, but I'm hoping to build a website there in the future, so keep your eyes on that space. Anyway, last week I spent several minutes, the whole broadcast, gushing to you about Maker Faire and how it's perfect and wonderful and exciting. But the maker movement is about doing things yourself. So this week, I want to teach you how to do something low-tech. I am going to teach some high-tech stuff on the show too. But after all the fancy equipment and technology I was showing off in the last episode, I thought we could use a reminder that you don't need a fully stocked lab or hackerspace to make something really cool. This occurred to me while I was getting my stuff ready to make a call flag with our logo that we could hang on the back of our set. Because why just make something for myself when I could teach you how to do it too? So this recipe for screen printing, that's what we're doing. We're doing screen printing. It's simple and easy, it's lo-fi, and you can do it mostly with things that you have around your house anyway. My friend Lucas taught me this technique during the last Infringement Art Festival, and it's great because you don't need anything super fancy and it's really accessible. Okay, so first step, gathering materials. Here's what you're gonna need. Some fabric that you want to screen print onto. Like I said earlier, I'm making a flag, so I am using this. But you probably want to make a t-shirt, and that's fine too. Freezer paper. You can get this stuff pretty much anywhere. It's different from other cooking papers because it's papery on one side and waxy on the other. Some sort of blade. I'm using an X-Acto knife. That's what I recommend. An iron, also probably an ironing board. Paintbrushes. I found that this foam kind works best for me, but if you want to use a regular paintbrush, it'll work too. And the key ingredient is the fabric paint. You can get fabric paint at most craft stores, but I like this brand Speedball. So I picked this one up on Amazon for like $8. Next, you're gonna have to decide on your design. If you're feeling confident, you can hand draw it, but tracing is okay too. I'm gonna trace our logo here onto the papery side of the freezer paper, not the wax side. By the way, if you want a bigger logo like this one, I used a program to make it called Rasterbaiter. It's a website, and you can go on, you upload your image and tell it how many sheets of paper's worth size you want it to be, and it makes a PDF, a printable PDF of it for you. It's really easy. And then you are going to cut it out with your X-Acto knife. Keep in mind that you are essentially making a stencil. So one, the part you cut out is going to be the part that ends up painted. And two, you have to be careful about pieces that aren't attached, like the insides of the B letter for us. You can do it, just don't lose the pieces because you're going to need them later. Now we've got our stencil. Now it's time to fire up your iron. We're going to iron the freezer paper onto the fabric, wax side down. You don't need to do a lot, just enough so the wax melts the fabric a little bit. That way this paint isn't going to seep underneath when you go to do the screen print. Turns out there is not enough room on the desk to do the ironing, so move to a table, and now you can see a different part of the studio. We put the little pieces in the middle of the letters that we saved and ironed them in just in the place where they go. Some people have said not to use a steam iron. I've heard that advice for this, but I've always used a steam iron, so I think you can do it either way if you're careful. So now we've got to the exciting part. We're going to paint it. It's probably a good idea to put something behind it because it could bleed through, especially if you're doing a t-shirt. I would put something in the middle of the t-shirt so you don't get it on the back. But other than that, slap some paint on there. If you're careful not to lift up the corners, you're going to get really crisp lines because the wax melted onto it. That looks pretty good. I made a mistake at the beginning. That's why you gotta be careful about not peeling up your stencil. I'm doing it in just one color, but there's no reason that you couldn't get more than one color paint and do like different parts of the design in different colors. You can get pretty creative with the colors and stuff. This is another screen I did a while ago for the Infringement Festival. Oh, let me bring it closer. And we did a black screen and then a silver on top of it, so you got kind of like a black outline. It takes 24 hours to dry before you can do anything with it, like hang it up or wear it, but I'm impatient, so let's carefully peel it off and just see what it looks like. So there it is. I didn't get the cleanest lines in the world because I'm not really the best ironer in the world, but hey, it looks homemade, I guess. I would challenge you to do even better than me because I'm not very good at this kind of thing, and the fact that I could do it at all is how you can tell that it's really easy. And that's pretty much it. It's a simple technique, and once you get good at it, you can do some really creative things. And then you can make what you love and wear what you love. Thanks again for tuning in. I hope you learned something, and I'd love to see what kind of screen printing you did with this technique. Want to show me how much better your screen print is than mine? Have a comment on the tutorial? Have an idea of something you want to see on the show? Just want to say hi? Email me at eunice@blrf.org. This is a community-based show, so we're always looking for new and different content. You can also follow me on Twitter at RadioFreeEunice or on Tumblr at Buffalo Lab Radio Free. So until our next broadcast, listeners, remember, make what you love and love what you make.
I know that's hard to believe, but there are people you meet. They're into something that is too big to be expressed.
I don't know, what do you think? Did it turn out?
Looks pretty good to me. It's going to look nice on the side.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I have to love it, because you love what you make. That's the rule.
Yeah.
So, I made it and now I love it.
Give it a kiss.